Black Myth Wukong. Is it good? Yeah. In the first 20 minutes of the game, you play as Wukong. The game's introduction was so epic that once the opening credits hit, I deleted my save file and started again. After the introduction, you play as the Destined One who is sent on a mission far and wide to recover scrolls in the hopes of making Wukong return. The game is set after the events of the legendary book, Journey to the West. While it's not essential reading before playing the game, I did feel like I got a lot more out of the game having read it, as you're often visiting places and meeting people from the book. You'll also be using weapons and spells that Wukong used, which were great to see. Gameplay wise, this game is a third person hit and roller style game. The game is full of bosses to defeat, and it feels like you can't go 5 minutes without facing one. Nearly all of them are unique to look at, each with their own movesets. The bosses were so much fun, and often a great challenge. For the most part, I'd encounter a boss, they'd destroy me in my first try, I'd get close in the second, and be able to defeat them in my third or fourth. Though, there was a couple of bosses that were tough as nails that took me over 2 hours to defeat. The game has lots of skills to unlock, which means if you ever get stuck on a boss, you can just go explore one of the open areas and defeat all the minions to level up. There's so much choice of how you want to level up. You can get new moves, more health, more mana, and so much more. It's really up to you and your playstyle. At any time, you can respec your skill tree for free, so there's never any fear of spending your points on the wrong upgrade. That said, I never felt the need to respec, as I was always happy with what I chose. The game takes place over 6 chapters, each with their own areas to explore. The game does a good job of making them feel very open and expansive, but for the most part, you're surrounded by invisible walls and have to take certain paths. There's lots of secrets, upgrades and side bosses to find if you're willing to look. I would often try and find out which way the game was trying to make me go and then go in the opposite direction. The game does a good job at nearly never telling you where to go, but the level design is so good that you'll nearly always know. Gameplay feels great, and I always felt like I had complete control of the Destined One with next to no input lag, despite the game having frame rate issues on the PS5. I did have a minor camera issue with 2 bosses. One was a flying dragon where the camera can keep up while locked on, and another was in an enclosed space and the camera was getting stuck and obscured by a wall. Luckily, these bosses were quite easy, so it wasn't a big issue. I had a lot of visual issues. I've already mentioned the fluctuating frame rate, but the game often had weird black streaks and outlines on objects and visual effects such as fog. While not at all game breaking, it was annoying to see. The story was incredible and a great continuation of the aforementioned book. I was shocked how much the ending affected me, and it had the hairs standing up on the back of my neck, which rarely happens when I'm playing games. The game has animated cutscenes between chapters that they call music videos. Each has their own style and they were fun to watch, with one even being in stop motion, which was amazing to see. The soundtrack in this game was special, one of the best I've ever heard. It had such amazing range, from cinematic to pop to traditional Chinese. It nearly has everything. That was Black Myth Wukong, and I give it a 9 out of 10.